Thank you for that introduction, Bez, and thank you all for joining this webinar today. I'd like to start by asking you all to picture that dreaded Monday morning after a nice long weekend. You unlock the front door to your business, you turn on the lights, and head straight to your front desk. What's waiting for you? I imagine there's probably some sticky notes which are literally impossible to read, left by whoever was trying to run out the door on Friday. You check your inbox to try to find some context, and you are left staring at email threads asking for quotes and checking availability. It's this immediate high stakes puzzle that you have to solve before you can even start getting equipment out the door earning you revenue. This is that classic operational bottleneck. You're starting your entire week just playing catch up, trying to figure out what your customers actually want rather than delivering the service they need. Well, imagine a different scenario. You walk in, open up OnRent Go, and there are five perfectly structured orders just waiting for you. No voicemails to return, no cryptic emails to decipher, just clean orders ready to be delivered. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a new way of running things that's designed specifically for OnRent Go customers. We're unpacking a fundamentally new online ordering system that integrates seamlessly right into OnRent Go. The whole goal is turning your entire ordering process into a 24/7 automated engine, shifting your business from constantly reacting to problems to actually being ahead of the curve. The system we're discussing really changes how your rental business operates day to day. It's a big shift because the focus isn't just on having a digital storefront, it's about how this system directly connects what your customers see online to your OnRent Go database where you already manage your inventory, your pricing, and your deliveries. Now, when people hear e-commerce in the rental industry, they usually think of how things used to work. It's like the clock in your car and the clock on your phone. They're never the same, never perfectly in sync. One is always a minute or two off, or in my case, an hour, and you constantly have to manually adjust them just to make sure they match. In the rental industry, having two systems that get out of sync is incredibly dangerous to your bottom line. In the old setup, you have your main system, OnRent Go, where you manage your actual inventory. Then you have a separate website built by somebody else. Because they're totally separate, they require constant manual checking to make sure the website actually reflects what's available. Think about what actually happens in that gap between the two separate systems. Customer goes to the website, places an order. The website sends you an email or a notification. Someone from your team has to open that message, figure out what the customer clicked, and manually rekey all that information into OnRent Go. You have to find the customer's details, look up the equipment, check the pricing, and make sure the item's available. They're acting as a human bridge. And whenever humans act as bridges for data, we introduce delays and massive potential for mistakes. Just imagine a tired employee typing the delivery postcode wrong. You don't just get a digital error, you get a driver lost on some rural road, an angry site manager, and your entire daily schedule is derailed. This is what the key difference is with this new system. There is no gap. It's not separate. It uses the same information, the same pricing, and the same availability as OnRent Go. There's no duplication. If the data is correct in OnRent Go, it's correct online. It's basically one single source of truth. So if everything is lined up perfectly in the back office, what do your customers see? Consider your typical contractor. It's 8 p.m. on a Thursday, they've just finished their dinner, and they're thinking about tomorrow's schedule. They suddenly realise that they need a specific piece of equipment for that Friday morning. Now, historically, they're stuck. They have to leave themselves a note to call your office right when you open at 8 a.m. They have to hope the phone lines aren't busy, and they have to hope that you have the item in stock. This creates huge frustration for them and huge frustration for your team to rush around first thing in the morning. But now, they just pull out their phone, go to your online storefront. It looks like your company with your branding, your logo, but it's powered by your OnRent Go system behind the scenes. The first thing the customer will notice is how the equipment is organized. The categories match exactly how you organize things internally. If your team thinks of products by, say, plant and tool, excavators, 5 ton, that's exactly how the customer will navigate the website. They aren't hunting around trying to guess how someone organized your specialized equipment. The online experience makes sense because it's based on how you actually run your business. And as they browse, they'll see pricing coming directly from OnRent Go, the daily rates, the weekly rates, any special discounts you've set up for them. If an item costs £50 a day in your system, that's what they see online. No hidden markups and no confusing differences. Now this sounds great for, a standard drill or an excavator, but what if you have some highly specialized equipment? If I navigate to plant and tool and excavators, what we'll see here is a couple of different things. We've got a subcategory of attachments, and then just below that we've got 4 results of excavators, which can be searched on popularity, pricing, A to Z. Now the 5 ton excavator's got a weekly price including and excluding VAT, and so is a 3.5 ton and a 7.5 ton. But what you'll notice on the 20 ton excavator is we've got POA, which is price on application. You stay in complete control over what's automatically bookable and what needs conversation. For your standard everyday equipment, customers get instant transparent pricing. But for complex specialized rentals, the system stops that automatic checkout and asks the customer to request a custom quote. You keep the human touch where it protects your margins. Let the system handle the routine, straightforward orders, and in turn, that should free up your team time to properly quote and scope those complex, high value jobs. Now let's move from browsing to the actual booking. The contractor has found the equipment they need, the pricing is clear. Let's look at how the system helps increase order value. Think of this checkout process as your most detailed orientated salesperson, the one who never forgets to ask the right follow up questions. This checkout is designed to prevent logistic problems whilst also increasing what the customer orders. The system guides the customer through accessories by dividing them into two types. Now, as you can see with the optional accessories, these are items that naturally go with the main equipment and don't cost extra, whereas the optional price below have daily prices, £60 and £36. Now, if we go back to the top and select our hire period to the 31st of July, amend our quantity, however, in this instance, I will just want one excavator. We can now click and collect or delivery. Below that, we can see our weekly rate, our individual day rates, subsequent days, and we can put this onto a wish list should we want to come back later. On this example, I'm going to click and collect. This comes up with those optional accessories. Now, this feels hopeful rather than a high pressure sales tactic. The system simply asks, you're renting this, do you need these? By selecting or unselecting the accessories, I can add to basket. A list of available branches will appear. On this example, the only place I can collect this from is Nottingham, so I'm going to select branch. Now you can see here that we've got this prompt to view basket, but also the basket at the top has changed value. If I click this and click view basket, we've got a basket order summary screen. On this summary screen, we can see the item that we've added, the weekly rate excluding VAT, and the quantity. Now it may be that the customers changed their mind and they want this delivery to site. You simply click the drop down, click delivery, and that will move them across to their billing address. Now you can see here that I've already got a billing address set up, and I can also add a new address should I wish. For this example, to save you some time of me keying information in, I'm going to tick to use the billing address as the delivery address. Here we get an order summary. Well, what happens if a contractor gets to this final screen, sees the total and realizes he doesn't have a company credit card, or he needs his site manager to approve of spending? If he just close the website, leaving you completely blind to that potential order? The way we handle this is with a quote. Down at the bottom, the customer gets the option to save as a quote. They can select this and choose to be contacted via email or telephone. On this example, I'm not going to save as a quote and we're going to place an order and see how that feeds into your OnRent Go environment. Scrolling back to the top and just going through this summary quickly, we've got our billing address and delivery address, our item, the product code, the price, the quantity, and we have two data entry fields here. Special instructions, where I'm going to put no delivery before 9 a.m. and our customer order number. I'm going to select place order. Now what actually happens in these next few seconds? This is where that native integration really shines. The moment the order is submitted, everything syncs up automatically with zero human intervention. If I scroll down here, you can see an order reference and confirmation that the contract has been posted successfully. Now if I jump across to OnRent Go and go to my dashboard, you can see here that I have a smart view pod that's referencing the custom view for my e-commerce orders. If I click into this, at the top here you've got our webinar order, and I can click on that to view this order. We've got our excavator, our hire rates, our delivery price, and if I click on edit order, scroll down, we've got the customer's order number and those special instructions. And this is where the integration really shines. Just think, a formal hire order is instantly created in OnRent Go with the correct equipment, the dates, and the pricing. The inventory system updates in real time, locking these product groups so no other branch or customer can claim them, and the customer's records are updated or created. Meaning your system gets richer, gets cleaner data, and the verified delivery address goes directly into your dispatch queue. All of this happens in seconds, entirely in the background while your office is closed and your staff is home. Compare this to your old one. Answering phone calls, putting people on hold while you check whiteboards or spreadsheets, calling other branch managers to find equipment, manually typing out emails. The time spent on one order drops from potentially hours of scattered work to basically zero. This does naturally raise a question. If all this data entry and checking is happening automatically, what are your front desk doing? The reality is a shift in what your staff can actually do. Those old bottlenecks completely disappear. Instead of your staff acting like human calculators, constantly checking screens, typing postcodes, their roles actually improve. They stop doing repetitive robotic tasks. They shift from data entry clerks to people who can actually run operations and manage relationships. They can focus on making sure the warehouse runs smoothly, they can plan delivery routes better to save on fuel, and most importantly, they have time to properly handle those complex custom orders we talked about, the ones that need real conversation. The system lets your business handle significantly more standard orders without hiring more admin staff. You're growing your revenue without growing your overhead. A system that grows revenue without the admin headaches is what every business owner dreams about. Let's tie all these pieces together. If we simplify this down to the core impact for your business, you're capturing customer demand 24/7. Your warehouse might close at 5 p.m. on a Friday, but your revenue engine keeps running. You're dramatically cutting down admin work for your staff. You're eliminating data entry mistakes, and you're using one single central source of truth. Crucially, you're competing on convenience and speed rather than constantly cutting your prices to win business. That's huge for your profit margins. This isn't some future promise. This system is ready, built, and working. The real question is, are you ready to stop managing the chaos and actively grow your business? Because when you step back, the limit for most rental businesses is how many phone calls your team can handle in an 8-hour day. This system removes that limit, letting you process unlimited standard orders around the clock. So as you look at those sticky notes on your desk Monday morning, I want you to think about where the industry is heading. Think about all the clean, organized data that the system is going to give you. Think about the convenience factor. If a contractor knows they can reliably get heavy equipment from you at midnight on a Thursday with zero hassle and complete transparency, why would they ever go back to leaving voicemails for your competitors? They wouldn't. Convenience is rapidly becoming the biggest driver in customer loyalty, and that's the future of rental operations. Thank you for your time today. I'd like to pass over to Nick.